morning, everyone. My name is Willis. I am a high school teacher. I have been teaching in the classroom for 17 years. When I began teaching in 1993, the average amount of money spent on a student was $7,472 in today's money. Today, we spend $10,889 per student, yet we're ranked 50th in graduation rates. Georgia ranks 27th in spending, but we're dead last in graduation rates. Again, my name is Willis. I'm the Libertarian Candidate for State School Superintendent. When I began teaching 17 years ago, I've watched Georgia go from being precariously on the edge of failing its students to downright failing its students. We need a change. We need a choice over the status quo, and I hope to be that choice. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm running on the ABCs of education: accountability, budget, and community choice. Accountability isn't just for teachers, but it's for all stakeholders in education. This is teachers, administrators, parents, community members, policymakers, politicians, and students themselves. All of these people have a responsibility for our children to receive an appropriate education. And education, ladies and gentlemen, is above all else an individual initiative with community support. The community has a responsibility to ensure an appropriate education for our students. Schools are accountable to ensure that education is disseminated to our students. But students themselves are the main players in education, and they're accountable to be given the information that is given to them. Teachers, most importantly, myself included, are accountable to disseminate the information, giving and using best practices. The state is accountable to disseminate the standards of learning and gather the testing data for its schools. That is where its job ends. It is not up to the state to determine curriculum. The community and the community school is responsible for that. It is not up to the state to decide that all students will graduate from high school and attend university. Students and parents shoulder that responsibility. It is also the parents and students' responsibility to come to school to learn. Teachers need to teach. I want to teach. Students need to learn. And we need to eliminate disruptions within the classroom. The responsibility of the Department of Education, then, is to ensure that taxpayer money is to be spent appropriately, accurately, and responsibly. I'm going to ensure that test scores are delivered in an accurate and real fashion. I'm not going to toss out numbers to make myself look good. I'm not going to lower test scores to appease the Georgia public. But much of this testing is because the federal government has decided that we need to do it. But the federal government is not providing the funds, ladies and gentlemen. What it's providing is the mandates. The feds provide to Georgia about 9.1% of Georgia's budget for education, but the mandates under No Child Left Behind and Now Race to the Top far exceed the funding provided. What we need to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to tell them to keep their money and to keep their mandates. The DOE takes up the Department of Education takes up 5.5 floors on one of the Twin Towers. Not only are many of these positions unnecessary, but the mandates that shackle our schools and our students and our teachers that come from are debilitating to us. I'm going to eliminate many of these needless positions within the Department of Education by working to keep the federal government out of our schools. So we've also got a testing frenzy, as I like to call it, which is very, very costly. We don't need to test our children every year. We certainly don't need to test them multiple times a year. The average 11th grader, ladies and gentlemen, is tested 11 times in 1 year. If we go to biannual testing, we're going to save ourselves about $60 million. The other thing that we can do is to, instead of allowing the Hope Scholarship to be a prepaid program, what we can do is make it a reimbursement program. 60% of our students lose the Hope after their first year of college. So let's make it a reimbursement program, and we will save ourselves millions and millions of dollars. Finally, I believe in community choice. It is not the federal government's position or job to tell us how to teach our students. That is our job. That is the community's job. And I believe that we need to allow for community choice. www.willisforstatesuper.com